They say water remembers. Every ripple, every scream, every final breath, it all stays suspended in the deep. If that's true, then Lake Lanier is no mere reservoir. It is a graveyard with a memory. Nestled in the hills of northern Georgia, Lake Lanier was meant to be a marvel of engineering, a source of power, water, and recreation. But what it became is something far darker, a place of vanishing lives, where the dead don't always stay buried. Since its completion in 1956, more than 700 people have lost their lives in Lake Lanier. Not from storms or natural disasters. No, the weather is often still. The skies are often clear. But the lake is always hungry. What's chilling is not the number of deaths, but the nature of them. Healthy swimmers, experienced boaters, and even rescue professionals have disappeared beneath the surface. Some vanish without a single splash. Others scream for help only to be pulled down by something no one can see. Rescue divers tell of bodies tangled in trees that no longer grow, their limbs caught in twisted roots beneath the lake's floor. Others are never found at all, as though the lake itself has decided to keep them. To understand Lake Lanier, you have to look below, not just into the water, but into the past. Before the dam was built, before the land was flooded, there were towns here, real towns, with homes, churches, schools, and cemeteries. One such place was Oscarville, a predominantly black community wiped from the map after a series of horrific racial attacks in the early 1900s. Families were forced from their homes, their land taken, their dead forgotten. When the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers created the lake, they simply left the ruins behind. They drained no graveyards. They demolished no buildings. They let the water rise. To this day, divers report fully intact structures beneath the surface, doorways that lead to nothing, staircases that go nowhere. Crosses still stand over submerged tombs. Some say they've seen coffins bobbing up from the depths during low water seasons, as if the dead are trying to escape. The most infamous spirit said to haunt Lake Lanier is known as the Lady of the Lake. In 1958, 2 women drove off a bridge and into the icy water below. Only one body was found. For years, her companion remained missing, until divers discovered a skeletal figure still strapped in the car, her hands gone, her jaw twisted in a permanent scream. Not long after, sightings began. A woman in a blue dress, pale and soaking wet, appears along the shoreline. She walks barefoot on the water surface. Her eyes are vacant, her arms reaching out, as if searching for something or someone to take her place. Boaters say she's appeared in their rearview mirrors, vanishing when they turn. Some have even swerved violently to avoid her, crashing into the rocks or capsizing in the night. They always say the same thing: she was real, and she was not alive. Ask any local, and they'll tell you, there's something beneath that lake that pulls. People say they feel hands wrap around their ankles, cold, strong, impossible to shake. And then, they're gone. Survivors of near drownings describe the same sensation, being yanked downwards, not by waves, not by current, but by something with intent. One man swam out to retrieve a dropped paddleboard. The water was shallow. He could see the bottom. And then he screamed. His body arched. He clawed at his legs and disappeared below. His friends swam out to save him, but it was too late. When his body was found, his legs were covered in bruises. The coroner said they resembled fingerprints. But whose? What makes Lake Lanier truly terrifying is the number of people who simply vanish. No body, no trace. Just a name added to the list of the missing. In 2023 alone, 6 people vanished in the lake. None were intoxicated, none had medical conditions, and all were experienced in the water. In one case, a young woman on a jet ski slowed to a stop. Her friends watched her look over her shoulder, scream, and fall into the lake. When they rushed over, she was gone. Her body was never found. Her life vest? Still floating. Her phone, recovered later from a waterproof pouch, had a final image on it. A dark silhouette standing on the water, too far to identify, but far too tall to be human. Locals whisper about ghost boats that glide across the lake with no sound, no passengers, and no lights. They vanish into the fog. Sometimes they reappear, drifting toward the shore, only to burst into flame before fading from existence. There's also the legend of the drowned choir, a group of children who supposedly perished during a Sunday school outing in the 1960s. At night, campers near the shore claim they hear faint singing, soft and sorrowful, rising from the lake. The sound grows louder, then stops, just before a scream, and perhaps the most chilling tale, the mirror water. When the lake is calm, some say if you stare long enough, you'll see your own reflection change. A flicker of decay, a grin that doesn't belong to you, eyes that glow red. And then your reflection disappears. Moments later, so do you. Despite the countless warnings, the lake remains a tourist destination. Thousands come each year to swim, to sail, to laugh. Some leave with photos, others leave in ambulances. A few never leave at all. Rescue teams know this well. They've pulled out too many bodies to keep track. One diver, a veteran of 20 years, once said, "There's something wrong with that lake. You don't just drown there. You're taken." So the next time you visit a lake, remember this. Water may look still, it may seem peaceful, but beneath the surface, something waits. Something ancient, something angry, something that remembers. And Lake Lanier, it never forgets.